shiny box. And we have the 1611. Here it is. Ooh, the premium box. Notice when we're getting it from Japan, we have it like in this box. It's the same one that I don't remember that other one. GM-110, right?
It's a G-Sho.
It's a G-Sho. And there it is. It doesn't say carbon core at the back, but is it carbon core? Here it is. GM-2100N-2AJF. Japanese OEM. It's upside down. And there it is. Take two. And there it is. Very nice. Designer notes subject 121. Ever since the new GA-2100 from G-Shock launched, the collective connoisseurs, step-siblings of G-Shock fanatics, have been salivating for a metalized royal oak take of the newest G-Shock. Today, that hazy dream became halfway clearer with the arrival of the GM-2100 models. Let's pick this one apart for a closer look. Like, comment, and subscribe for content you'd like to see next. Follow us at Instagram at DesignAtelieraAruba for behind-the-scenes content. Email us at DesignAtelieraAruba@gmail.com. This model is the GM-2100N-2AJF. The diameter measures in at 44.4 mm with a lug-to-lug distance of 49.3 mm. The thickness is just under 12 mm, which is one of the thinnest G-Shocks in the market. This is almost 50% heavier than the GA-2100, weighing in at 72 grams. It is 200 meters water resistant and is shock resistant as what all G-Shocks are. It uses the same module as the other Casioaks, the 5611, that has a negative display and around 3 years of battery life. This is a fantastically well-rounded piece. Not only is it a tasteful G-Shock, but a finely crafted watch as a whole. The slightest turn triggers an elegant dance of light from all of its polished and satin-finished facets. Casio's deep ion plating process displays its superiority above the rest. This marvelous combination of texture and finish is executed excellently on the circular brushed bezel. The crisp engravings of the text breaks all of the racing streaks of light across the bezel surface while being coated with a deep navy blue tone. You can enjoy this same satin sheen on the sides between the buttons and lug screws. On the wrist, it feels very comfortable and still feel very light despite having a significant metal case. It doesn't protrude out of my 15.8 cm wrist, ideal for all-around wearability. At 44 mm, not all wrists can pull this one off, but G-Shock knows you'll try and wear one anyway. The muted dark blue tone of the watch complements it nicely to enhance the shiny effect of the case. This is then paired beautifully with the textured straps, giving a visual interest when your focus is not on the watch itself. This strap feels noticeably softer than regular resin bands of G-Shock, providing a more premium impression. The underside follows a function-first direction with very nice channels molded into the strap to give some breathing space for your skin. The keeper also has the same texture found on the band to match the whole band together. If my tone is of any indication, I'm pretty much excited and blown away from the quality this GM-2100 offers. For a watch under $300, this certainly can contend and even surpass other watches in value. Like any delicately brewed coffee, the GM-2100 not only has an interesting flavor, but it also helps you to get through those mundane tasks with its different timing functions. It has all the usual features, such as the world time, stopwatch, timer, alarms, and calendar. All of this is being anchored on a dial by analog hands that is also somewhat loomed. It also features a dual LED setup that isn't really that useful in daytime. These are some of the more obvious features from this timepiece, but under the macro lens, you'll find that there is more to enjoy on the dial. This dial is more akin to the MTG line of G-Shocks than your typical affordable resin models. So much care and attention is put on the dial that raises this model appeal above the others. There's so much dimensionality on the dial because of its use of many texturing techniques. The vertical brush dial hides and reveals the text upon tilting the watch. It's dynamic contrast done right. This same contrast can also be enjoyed between the dial and bezel. All the texts are laser clear and very legible. The day subdial is now radially textured with printing applied over them. This differentiates itself from the fine brushing of the dial surface. This same technique is used all around the dial's elements. The outer ring has a circular pattern that goes against the vertical brushing. The indexes also interrupts this circular ring, giving light rays a different direction to flow onto. These fine details are surprising to see on digital watches where affordability is the primary target for production. This is why many watch enthusiasts turn to Casio, as it is clear that the company values these design elements. In the arena of watch collecting, fine details are often the talking points, and in many cases the only points being considered. Only a handful of digital watches are considered in these conversations. Beside the Submariner, the dimensions of the GM-2100 is comparable, although it is bigger obviously. The fine details, however, that is found on the Submariner, clean text and the such, are all present too on this G-Sho. The sub is 12mm thick, making it a hair thicker than this Casioak. Besides some notable micro brands such as the Willem Prism, the similarities are plenty with its angular case design and layered dial. The dimensions are also not that far off, nor is the lightness of the titanium case and bracelet. The Prism is 4 times the price though, just to keep that in mind. Compared to the ever so popular 5600, we can see why the Casioak became a smash hit. Many of the visual cues around the case and bezel are here, but stretched in proportions to make room for those analog hands. It is thinner than the 5600, and all of this is intentional according to Casio. Against its predecessor, well, it's pretty much the same dimensions and features. It's just dressed up in more premium materials and finishes to put it in a nutshell. The thickness is the same, which is expected from an upgraded version of the collection. The overall design of the band also retains its taper, but it lost some details along the way. There are enough elements to set it apart from the original though. A closer comparison gives us some fascinating insights to Casio's mindset, however. Aesthetically, the dial remained the same. The case diameter is 1mm smaller than the original model. The band, however, while gaining a new texture pattern, lost a fold and the faux rivets. I like this simpler direction. The buckle is now improved, with the GM gaining a metal buckle than the cheaper feeling plastic for the GA. This buckle would have been nicer if it was iron plated also though. The longer part of the band was also simplified and lost its shallow channel. The biggest difference comes from the back. The new metal Casioaks no longer have the carbon core logo. Instead, it has the typical shock resist shield. From here, you can also see that both still use the quick release spring bars. Finally, the screws used on the case are now hex screws instead of the smaller Phillips screws of the GA-2100. Back to the dial, the indexes are noticeably metal, while the hands have a different loom shape. I like that they now cover more surface area, but the lume is still not that great in the dark. You will still rely on your LED. With all of these changes, will the GM-2100 also retain the same moddability as the original Casioak? We had to take both models apart to find out. I tried fitting the resin bezel on the GM-2100 module, and it was clear that it didn't fit. The bezel lugs are too narrow, and the bezel itself didn't sit on the crystal at all. Next, I took the metal bezel and tried to use it on the carbon core GA-2100. The other way around didn't fit either. The carbon core module is too big to fit the thick metal bezel. Comparing the two bezels, it is apparent that the metal Casioaks have a wider lug opening versus the GA-2100. But that's not all. From the inside, we can see that they have different moldings for the module cases. This is why you cannot swap between the two of them. You can confirm this by placing the two beside each other. I was trying to fit an octagon in a circular mold. The straps, however, are interchangeable. This sits well and easy enough to install and uninstall. This suggests that Casio encourages strap swapping but not bezels, at least for the GM and GA models for now. Even the screws used are different. This is likely to hold the metal cases more firmly. This also may be the reason why a carbon core module case was not used. With the new metal case that has a millimeter of reduced dimension, Casio achieves the same shock resistance than that of the carbon core models. We saw this result when they were developing the AWM-500. They found that reducing the case size on the AWM-500's metal case made the watch denser and increased its shock resistance. What a difference a millimeter can bring. There are 4 models for the GM-2100 line, and all of them retails for $220. There's a limit of 1 per customer, however, most of them are already sold out. We finally got a metal case Casioak. It's the first step towards the full metal Casioak that Chinese manufacturers are already offering right now. As good as many of these aftermarket cases and bands are, I actually fitted one of them in my Seiko Tuna. They could not compete with the quality of original Casio parts. At least not yet. Until then, or should I say even then, the fans collectively will still buy these latest G-Shock releases because they are generally really good. So good that half the metal still makes the heart dream in bliss.